What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another Boleros episode. Today, we're going to talk about the first game of the Final Four between UP and NU and then Ateneo and Adamson. Here with me today is Gab and Maui, the usual suspects. Say hi, guys.
Hello, hello.
Yeah. It's too early for
Okay,
my
sige.
life.
Sorry, wala ako last time. I was out. But I'm back today. Okay, so ang unang game today was yesterday. So we're doing this podcast the morning after, no. So the unang game yesterday was UP versus NU. That was a very good and exciting game. So we're gonna talk about that later. Let's talk first about yung Ateneo versus Adamson game. Ah, if napanood nyo or nakita nyo yung score, it was not a close game. So, let me hear your thoughts. Let's start with you, Gab. Ano tingin mo nangyari dun sa Ateneo Adamson game?
It was the usual. I think it was the best game played by Ateneo this season. It was the first time I saw yung glimpses of the team from season 84. Alam mo yun, yung well-oiled machine, move the ball around, find open shooters, find cutters. Of course, there were turnovers. It's the characteristic of every Ateneo team since Tab Baldwin took over. It's a hard system to master. Pero, pare, sobrang yung ikot ng bola, ang linis, hinahanap yung open shooter sa corner. Kai Balungay got a bunch of three-pointers sa corner. Fortsky got a bunch of three-pointers. May halong swerte. Just, just to put it out there, may halong swerte. Yung mga buzzer beaters nila, Gab Gomez, Chris Kuhn pumapasok. So you knew it was Ateneo's day yesterday. And the bench showed up. Chris Kuhn played his best game. I think that's the Chris Kuhn that we all wanted to see. We've seen Chris Kuhn play point guard this season and it hasn't worked out. And we were talking sa chat na his best role for this team is as a secondary ball handler and a scorer. And we saw it yesterday. His shots were going in. He was aggressive, driving to the basket. He was making plays for others. Really a really impressive game. And defensively, grabe. Again, the trademark, another trademark of Tab Baldwin's teams is the defense. They play hard defense. We talked about it, Mau, diba? Nung last episode natin. Will Coach Tab pull out all the stops to just smother Adamson? And talagang he did. No, he changed from zone to a 2-3 to a 1-2-2 to a man-to-man. Whatever defense you can think of in his arsenal, he pulled it out. And he did it again. You talk about Chris Kuhn on offense. Chris Kuhn was also amazing on defense. He shadowed Jerom Lastimosa second for second except for the fourth quarter na si Sean Kitevis na yung tumatao kay Jerome. Pero they put, just like what happened in the UP game, the most recent UP game where Chris Kuhn was put on JD Kagulangan. He put Chris Kuhn and Jerom Lastimosa. And it's a very different look. Chris Kuhn, I think, is 6'4". Jerom Lastimosa is what, 5'8", 5'7", or around that height. It's pretty hard. And kudos to Chris Kuhn. Parang bilis ng footwork ng mga paa niya to keep up with smaller guards. So, yeah, the player of the game was deservedly went to Chris Kuhn. He played a hell of a game. And we're in the final. Who would have thought, pare? Finals tayo. Finals ang Ateneo.
Number
Sabi ko sa
one
inyo,
in
di ba?
finals.
Sabi ko sa inyo, favorite pa
Oo
rin.
nga eh. Si Maui lang yung positive sa ating tatlo sa Ateneo eh.
Ewan ko dito kay Maui. O sige, Mr. Positive. Anong tingin mo dun sa game?
Actually, to be honest, yung call ko sa atin nung start ng season is really because of Tab Baldwin, regardless of who you put na lineup. And this was prevalent nung, if you remember correctly, yung first year ni Tab Baldwin, Ateneo lost 6 or 7 key guys.
Yeah.
And Ateneo, everyone from the community, including myself, thought that Ateneo would falter. kumbaga nagulat na lang tayo nung the following year na biglang tumatapat kala Ben Embala nung finals, yung naka-finals Ateneo, and then they went toe-to-toe with Lasal. This is Tab Baldwin's 6th year. In all those 6 years, Ateneo has made the finals. So medyo dun talaga yung trust in Coach Tab with trust, yung nanggaling yung call ko. With regards to the game naman, yeah, I think as Gab mentioned, Ateneo played its best game of the season. Kahit si Tab Baldwin was saying that nung press conference that this is probably the best their best game, their most complete game. Everyone stepped up. Chris Kuhn had this best game of the season, and we expected this from Chris Kuhn, especially when we were watching him nung summertime. He was dominating, especially nung time na wala si David Alfonso due to his injury. And I think Ateneo really did a good job limiting Jerom Lastimosa. And despite single coverage on Jerom Lastimosa, Ateneo also limited yung guys that we mentioned, Gab, from the last episode, sila sa Bandal, Joshua Yero.
Yes.
Cedric Manzano still played a great game, but they were able to limit the other perimeter players. AP Manlapas was nowhere to be found during this game. But yeah, and the Ateneo office was really humming also. I think a lot of players
Yes.
scored in double figures. Ateneo shot the ball.
Ball rotation,
really well.
pare, ang ganda.
Yeah, ball
Ganda ng
rotation.
ball rotation nila.
Even sila Jason Webb was calling out sa press during the game na when Ateneo shied away from the isolation plays, na iba talaga yung laro. And you can see Ateneo shot the ball pretty well. I think that was the best shooting game of Ateneo during the season. They shoot around less than 30% sa 3-point line, but yesterday I think they shot over
57.
57% with Chris
57%.
Kuhn shooting 4 of 5. I think may kasama na rin talagang faith and swerte, as you mentioned, Gab, dalawang buzzer beaters with the crazy shot by Chris Kuhn and the off balance 3-pointer by Gab Gomez at top of the key. With regards to Adamson, I think they have to be optimistic also despite losing Jerom Lastimosa coming into the season kasi, and even yung whole first round. It was really just the Jerom Lastimosa show, but itong second round, pinakita nila talaga that we can be excited for them sa coming seasons. Lengda Duanga is playing better. Sila sa Bandal, Liero, Manzano, Hanapi, and siyempre si AP Manlapas. And all the others are really stepping up. So you gotta be excited about Adamson coming into season 86. But yeah, I think Ateneo really just played a hell of a game yesterday on both ends of the floor. And it's gonna be UP against Ateneo. Round 3.
Here we go again!
Round 3.
Here we go again.
Round 3.
We talk about defensive adjustments. We were calling it out yesterday. Nung last episode natin, di ba? During the Ateneo versus Adamson final game of the elimination round, Ange Kwame, we were having a hard time rebounding because Ange Kwame was being drawn out by Lenda Duanga because Lenda Duanga is now a threat from the outside. But I think Coach Tab, you listens to our podcast. Dahil narinig niya yun, he made an adjustment for at least some stretches of the game. He put Ange Kwame inside on Cedric Manzano and put his power forwards, whether it was Kai Bolungay or even little Josh Lazaro. Or Lenda Duanga, which is crazy. So small compared to Lenda Duanga. But that was the adjustment, and that kept Ange mostly in the paint on defense, and they were able to defend Lenda Duanga from the outside. I think he shot only a few perimeter shots, but he was mostly covered. Great adjustment by Tab. So, great minds think alike, pare. Nag-iisip si Tab kung ano iniisip natin. Yung pwede tayo maging coach.
Coach Tab with trust.
Sam, anong mga thoughts mo ba?
Nakikinig si Coach. I think pretty much na-cover nyo. Number one thing that I really wanted to say, I think na-comment din to nung commentators at one point. It in all honesty, it could have been a bit closer if we weren't making those lucky shots. Na-mention nyo yung kay Kun tsaka kay Gab Gomez. Meron din isa yung 4-point play ni Dave Ildefonso.
Dave.
Although hindi niya na-shoot yung free throw, pero it was like nagtumira siya from the corner and then nag-lucky bounce yung 3-point shot niya. Those are the shots that we were making. So yun. So maybe it could have been closer if we weren't so hot. So sabi ko nga, I mentioned like 57% from 3. I think that was 16 of 28 basically from
May halong swerte talaga,
the,
pare. May halong swerte talaga
from,
yung
correct, from the 3-point line. I think si Kun had 4, Kai had 3, Dave had a few, Gab Gomez, Fortsky also had a couple of 3. So we were really hot from the 3-point line. For Adamson, we defended Jerom Lastimosa really well. I think nag-alternate sina Kun and mostly Kun and si Andrade I think was also defending Jerom Lastimosa. To be fair, Jerome still top scored for Adamson. So I don't know if that's a good
but
thing
most of his
or
points
not.
were in garbage time na eh.
Garbage time, correct. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not, no, na he was really bad. I think first half 1 point lang siya eh. Parang 0 of 5 or something like that. He also missed a free throw kaya 1 point lang naalala ko. So the thing is, compared to like the previous game of Adamson versus Lasal, nabantayan si Jerome but the others also couldn't make their shots. Sabi mo nga Maui, di ba? Nawala si AP Manlapas. For a moment, I think si Brandon Flowers parang kakapasok lang tapos nag 5 straight
Aaron
points. I thought
Flowers.
Aaron Flowers. I thought
Energy guy.
he would get hot eh. Medyo parang 5 straight points to ah. So ala ko iinit na siya pero hindi naman din. I think he pretty much ended with about 5 or 6 points.
Jerome tried to generate offense, especially no third quarter, no medyo lumalayo ng Ateneo. Pero wala, ang ganda ng coverage ng Ateneo, grabe.
Right.
When he would get in the paint, Ange was there. Yung on the perimeter, they switched everything. Yung kahit he even tried to launch it from Steph Curry range. Pero wala, they covered him even there. They stretched him out. So that's scouting for you. Siguro na nasa scouting report na he's gonna launch it from there, from pang mga pick and roll, extend. So the big man yung has to cover that range, and they did it pretty well. Sobrang covered si Jerome the whole game. And also to Jerome, I don't think he was 100%. Of course, he's coming off a dislocated toe.
Syempre.
But still, grabe yung defensive coverage kay Jerome kahapon. Go, Sam.
So, two things lang na-mention naman. Nakalimutan ko tuloy yung isang point. Pero, sorry. So, yung first point ni Maui, I think, good point yun, no, Mau. We always talk about having Aracela in the Final Four. I think, ano sabi mo, Gab? Ano sabi mo, Maui? It's
9 straight
there's been
years.
Aracela in the Final Four for the last 9 years.
Fact check, 9 pala, hindi 7.
Hindi pala 7, 9 guys.
9 lang, 9.
In the last 9 years, either Nash or Olsen has been in the Final Four. Pero, credit to Tab Baldwin, he's been in the finals for 6 years. So, that's a credit to Coach Tab, no? That's the first thing. The second point, may nabasa akong article. Graduating na ba si Jerome? Is this his final year?
Yeah, I think
final year ni Jerome. 24 na rin si Jerome eh.
Okay. Got it. Kasi may nabasa akong article na parang, I forget where, but parang Lastimosa mom on future. So I wasn't sure bakit yun yung, I mean, nakita akong headline na something like that. So I wasn't sure. Baka future kung like saan siya pupunta after UAAP, no? So maybe yun. Yeah, but I think Adamson should still be excited. I think the future is bright. I think AP Manlapas, dude came from an injury and came out of nowhere, diba? Ngayon lang siya medyo lumamig, but I think he was doing really well. Na-mention ko, I don't know if nandun pa siya, but like yung kapatid ni Dwight Ramos is with Adamson, if I remember correctly. And sabi mo, Gab, next season pa siya makakalaro. So, we'll see if he can contribute to Adamson. But as long as they have Nash Rosella, I think Adamson has a chance to compete every year then. Any other key takeaways from this game before we move on to the more exciting game?
Wala.
Wala
Actually,
si Gab. Go,
I
Ma'am.
wanted to say rin, Sam, yung just a shout out again to, since we're talking about, we're ending yung conversation between Adamson and Ateneo. I wanted to shout out also si Jerom Lastimosa again. This is probably we mentioned niya yung final year in the UAAP, and it was a great send off. I think nung end nung game, both the crowds of Ateneo and Adamson chanted MVPs and gave him a standing ovation.
Yes.
And it's a testament to not only Jerom Lastimosa as a player but also as a person. Kita mo naman yung buong Ateneo lineup was also hugging him and talking to him. Coach Stab told him that he loved him as a player, and I think it's a testament to all the sacrifice and the hard work of Jerom Lastimosa. So as we send him off, good luck to him. I hope he gets an offer. Hopefully it's Korea also, and Japan, or even better.
It's good that you mentioned that, Maui, because I was thinking to have a surprise segment for us to give Jerom Lastimosa his flowers and his laurels. Kasi honestly, I was a bit conflicted with Adamson losing yesterday. Because I have alam ni Santos, in season 84 when we started this podcast, parang may love affair ang Boleros with Jerom Lastimosa. Kasi he's a pleasure to watch. Honestly, I don't think I've watched more Adamson games for the last 20 plus years of watching UAAP basketball than I have these last 2 seasons. Halos lahat ng Adamson games yung pinapanood ko. Mainly because I just want to see Jerom Lastimosa play. Sobrang delight niya to watch. And he's so humble. Yung gaya mo sabi mo, Mawa, as a person, he's very likable, so humble. And the only comparison I can actually make when I see him play is parang LA Tenorio. Ano yun? Na small guard, tapos hindi mo alam na he has all these tricks in the bag. And when you see him sa TV, he looks even smaller than what he's listed. Kasi I think maybe because he's so thin, parang wala siyang laman. Kasi kahit i-compare mo siya sa kahit mga smaller guards than sila JD Kagulangan and all that, he looks still smaller than them. Ang payat niya.
Remember,
diba?
Gab, di ba yan yung forever comment ni Dale na pag natabi na siya yung sa mga posters ng UAAP, pag natabi siya sa mga star players ng other teams, mukha daw siyang bata na ting-ting kasi ang payat niya no?
Kahit senior, mukhang bata ngayon si Jerome.
Tapos
sorry.
hindi lang is go.
Go.
Hindi lang yung style of play niya, pare. Yung pati yung puso niya. So I've watched so many Jerom Lastimosa game-winning plays, game-winning shots these past 2 seasons. Talaga siya yung heart ng Adamson team talaga. Siya yung main guy and they look to him. It just so happens na this second round lang na discover ng Adamson yung confidence ng ibang teammates niya.
Ng other
players. The difference between him and LA Tenorio, although same stature sila pare. Diba? When LA Tenorio was playing in the UAAP, ganun din siya, maliit, sobrang payat. Pero grabe yung puso rin ni LA. But the only difference that I could find between the two of them, si LA Tenorio was a highly touted recruit you coming out of San Beda. Everyone was trying to recruit LA Tenorio from San Beda because he was that good. Everyone knew about him. Si Jerom, no one knew about him when he came into the UAAP.
Came out of nowhere.
Saan ba siya galing? I think he's from Negros, di ba? Tama ba?
Dumaguete siya.
Okay. Diba?
Galing sa
So,
provinces.
diba, came out of nowhere. And we talked about this before, pare. Yung, even, what our Adamson draft, if yan si draft namin, kung may nanonood, we talked about it there. But when he entered the UAAP, he was a nobody. Talagang, no one knew about him. It was supposed to be Jerry Pingoy's year to start for Adamson, yung after transferring from Ateneo. Then this guy just forced Franz Pumaren's hand na start siya no second round and put Jerry Pingoy on the bench because he was that good. And the rest is history. Kaya ako pare, sobrang emotional ako kahapon. Especially yung seeing yung mga clips na hinahug siya, the crowd giving him a standing ovation, chanting MVP. Dahil, honestly, yung sobrang fan ako ni Jerome. And just wanted this to give uh, 1 to 2 minutes just to say my piece about Jerom Lastimosa. Dahil, honestly, great to have him these past few seasons.
Definitely.
Gab, I think ano lang din. I remember nung rookie year niya. Yeah, remember when he outplayed Jerry Pingoy. Naalala ko, nung time na yun, he was hitting game winners na eh. I remember he hit like a
Yeah.
game winner from the corner or something like that. So ever since his rookie year, this guy's been clutch. Super clutch. One of the most clutch UAAP players ever. Sorry, just to nag-fact check ako, nag-research ako just to confirm. He actually has one more eligible year. Tama nga. So dito sa
Pwede
tiebreaker
pa siya.
times, sabi, Lastimosa still has one more year of eligibility left. Pero when asked about his plans for next season, there was an awkward silence before Jerome just said, next question. Tapos, yun, same thing when they asked Coach Nash, ang quote kay Coach Nash, everybody will be available next year, walang gagraduate unless something comes up. I'll know for sure. So nobody is graduating from this Adamson team or this Adamson lineup. So Jerome officially has one more playing year left. So 4 years pa lang siya naglalaro. You can check out the article. Siguro I'll share the article dun sa comment section or sa description. Tiebreaker Times by Justin Valencia. So shout out. So that's something to watch out for.
But that
I
would be
think.
awkward though. Yung standing ovation niya sa long game kahapon. Uy, oo nga pala, balik ako.
Yeah, so that's something to watch out because we all know we've talked about it. The rumors that Jerome is being courted by a lot of international teams or teams from Asia. So we'll find out what his plans are for next year. But this is a scary team, no? When healthy and with their confidence, this could be a team that will compete again next season if everybody stays. Okay, we've talked about Ateneo and Adamson. Let's move on to the more exciting game. The first game, UP versus NU. Honestly, I didn't get to watch this game. I saw bits and pieces. I was on my way back from Batangas. So I saw bits and pieces. Uh, Actually, really interesting game. Kasi when I was watching, naalala ko, nag 9-0 run yung UP. They were up by 10 in the fourth quarter, maybe like halfway through the fourth. And then, nakita ko na lang nagte-text kayo na 1 point lead na lang UP. So, it was really a back and forth game.
It
So, tell me
was.
what happened. What are your thoughts? What happened? How did UP win? Let's start with you, Maui.
I think very critical to UP's win yesterday yung that they dominated the glass. Both both Malik Diouf and Lucero really played a hell of a game. Apparently, I think Zab Lucero's family flew in from the States, and he was electrifying. Pagpasok pa lang niya, parang two dunks agad siya. And I think he ended with 3 dunks. But Malik Diouf yesterday played like the MVP that he's gonna be crowned. He had 21 rebounds.
Exactly.
21 rebounds. He was a plus 19 in a tightly contested game. He also had 17 points. He had good passes. And even if you call out yung contributions niya on rebounding and on the offensive side, I think more impressive rin also yung impact niya on the defensive end. You can see Omar Jan. Omar Jan was struggling as Struggling as well
Wala.
nung game.
Walang-wala.
Wala.
Dominated talaga sa rebounds. He had, alam niyo to medyo na-irritate ako yesterday with Omar Jan. Kasi Omar Jan had, I think, 2 silly turnovers that led to UP fast breaks. Omar Jan also couldn't control yung rebounds because of the pressure of Diouf. And I think Diouf is underrated. When you talk about UP, you always talk about how Carl Tamayo is so good, how JD
Yes.
Gulangan controls the game.
Xavier
Zab Lucero's
Lucero.
the best. Xavier Lucero's the best 6-man in the UAAP and so on. They're the best team. But you never talk about Malik Diouf all the time. But Malik Diouf is the MVP on all metrics, I think, this season. And that's big considering you're talking about like an Ateneo team with an Aj Kwame. But I think you really, Malik Diouf really deserves to be crowned the MVP.
Agree.
As far as NU is concerned naman, I think they cannot put their head down. They played their hearts out. This is the usual NU team na talagang grit and grind, hustle their way to a close game. Unfortunately, they couldn't hit their outside shots yesterday. So when UP played the zone, they had a harder time. But also shout out to Kian Baclaan for playing the game of his life yesterday. Parang hindi talaga to be honest, si Steve Nash Enriquez
Again, yung nanonood ata siya ng Boleros, pare. Kasi binigay ko siya yung Bolero of the Week. So sabi niya, why, Bolero of the Week ako, ha?
Kita mo talaga yung galit kay Kian Baclaan na nagkamali siya with those suspension and not getting the Rookie of the Year. He played his heart out, hit some crucial shots. It could have gone either way, to be honest. I think NU really, because of their energy, their effort, and especially on the defensive side and on offensive.
Lamang sila, pare. Diba? Lamang sila nung end game. Talaga it was the Omar Jan turnover that turned the game around. Remember that turnover, Mau? Yung handoff dapat kay Kian Baclaan na led to a Jerry Abadiano layup. That gave UP the lead and wala na. Tapos na.
Yeah, so
sayang.
So I think naman but to be with NU, to be fair with NU, I think they still played a hell of a game. Yun lang talaga because of Malik Diouf's pressure yesterday and spectacular game. Omar Jan really struggled to even keep up. But yeah, props to NU. This is a very scary team for season 86. Everyone, I don't think any key player is graduating. Only Jonas Tibayan and Mahinay. I think Mahinay is graduating next year. Graduating this year and not playing next year. And I think similar to Ateneo, any lineup that Jeff Napa has, I think will play their heart out. Grit and grind talaga. Naalala ko Memphis Grizzlies versus San Antonio Spurs yesterday sa nilaro ng NU.
Good comparison. That's a good comparison. Galing. Okay, from my notes for this game, Mau didn't talk about it, but the Carl Tamayo injury is big.
Yeah.
So, kung di alam ng mga tao, Carl Tamayo sprained his ankle. The same ankle he sprained in previously, the right ankle. And it looked bad. Kahit sa replay, alam mo to, Sam, madalas ako ma-sprained ankle. I hate sprained ankles. Kung makita ko yung nag-cringe ako, at yun talaga, it looked really bad. Ang sama ng turn. And you can see it, no? He tried to return twice. He tried to return in the second quarter, tried to return the third quarter. Both times he was pulled out by Coach Gold. I think he knew na he wasn't moving right. And honestly, talaga, nung nakita ko, it looked painful. I do expect, though, that he's gonna play in game 1. I mean, he's Carl Tamayo. I don't expect him to miss game 1. But, yeah, it might affect his mobility, his lift. Grabe, ako nung nakita ko, halos masuka ako dahil kadiri.
Kala mo tapos na talaga no?
Ako talaga. So, nung nakita ko yun, parang, oh my God. So,
Warrior din talaga, Carl Tamayo.
Mukhang tagilid ang UP rito, yung wala si Carl. Yeah, but a testament to their depth, pare. We've talked about UP's depth and their embarrassment of riches when it comes to talent, and it showed yesterday. And second, Maui made the point earlier, this was Malik Diouf's case for MVP talaga. His crowning jewel talaga of being the MVP. And tama rin yung point ni Maui, he's very underrated. We talked about this yung last season, Sam, when we were talking about agree ba tayo na si Malik Diouf yung finals MVP? And I do remember you and Dale were disagreeing with me. You wanted JD Kagulangan because
No.
game-winning shot.
No. You and Dale said Malik. Ako, I was just trying to argue for JD. But you and Dale agreed. You and Dale agreed na si Malik talaga. Well-deserved.
Yeah, it was definitely
ako yung
Malik.
JD
kasi,
Kagulangan.
Kudos to JD. He hit the biggest shot of the game.
Of course. We know
meron
that.
na naman kahapon.
I got nightmares.
Yun.
I got nightmares seeing him shoot that three.
Left corner na naman.
Puta yun na naman. But
mali yung
anyway,
defense doon eh. Mali yung defense doon.
Yeah, mali
nga
yung defense.
Bumaba eh. Okay. Anyway, go ahead, guys.
So, for Malik, again, he was everywhere yesterday. Talagang lahat ng shots at the rim contested niya. At hirap na hirap yung NU to get shots at the rim, which was a problem because gaya sabi ni Maui, they couldn't hit anything from outside. Talagang wala. And they had a ton of shots. So, it was a dominating game for Malik. And also, yung NU lost composure ng last few minutes nga. The turnover by Omar John was unforgivable talaga. That turned the tide talaga. And sayang. I thought it was very winnable. Very winnable game. And gaya na sabi mo sa amin, it was a game of runs. I think it started with a 15-2 UP run no first quarter, countered by a 16-2 run by NU, then another run by UP, then another run by NU, pabalik-balik. It was a really fun game to watch. I was hoping for another game because a rubber match between these two teams, sobrang bakbakan yun. But yeah, it's Ateneo-UP again, the final. Sam, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think I saw snippets of it, pero I think Omar John was really flustered. And hindi lang si Omar John, I think everyone else sa team, di ba? I think pinag-usapan natin to, Gab, or minessage mo to sa Telegram. Mahaba din tong NU, like they have a lot of like really lengthy wings, like sina Manansala, sina Malonzo. We love these guys, and these guys can really rebound the ball. Tama si Maui, grit and grind, di ba? Like etong mga players na si Figueroa, these guys can rebound, team rebounding sila, and then like putting the ball in the basket sa under the rim, no? But yesterday, wala silang ma-shoot. None of them could make their gimmies. Ang dami nilang gimmies na na-miss.
Dami, ang dami.
I think may parang
dami.
Omar John,
ang dami niyang point blank.
So Omar John, meron talaga point blank na eh.
Wala, I think they were really flustered, no? So credit where credit is due. I think si Diouf talaga really scared everyone and flustered everyone dun sa NU team. So again, I think Diouf really deserves to be the MVP this season. He is, to me, this season at the very least, the best import sa UAAP. Meron akong isang play kay Diouf na tawan-tawa ako. Meron siya yung nag-jump shot siya, tapos biglang pinasa niya. Tapos, I forgot who got the ball. Tapos na-shoot yung tira na yun eh. Ang naalala ko doon, parang 2K. Alam mo yung parang center mo, tinira mo, tapos parang bigla mong mid-air, ipapasa mong ganun. Tapos sobrang awkward.
Nagkamali ka, sabi mo, pasa. Si Shaq pala to.
Oo, exactly. Yun yung naalala kong play. But, nung pinasa niya, assist pa. Nakakuha pa siya ng assist. So, it was an awkward play. I think it was a bad play by Diouf. Pero, na-assist pa niya, no? So, it was that kind of game then for Diouf and UP. Just to end then with what yung Maui said about NU. Tama ka, no, Mau? So, no significant player will be graduating or leaving NU. So si Mahinay lang at si Tibayan. And I think nabasa ko din sa tiebreaker din to, next year sasali na sa kanila yung isang big recruit nila, yung guard na taga UK na I think basta MVP siya sa Junior League before or something. LA Casinillo. So they're gonna get him.
Oh.
They're gonna get him next year. So if Adamson is also like a contender next year, especially if Jerom Lastimosa comes back, I think NU will also compete next year. They'll have an intact team, plus they're getting
definitely.
big recruits.
And
Go Gab.
the game yesterday showed them what they had to improve on. No? Talaga shooting talaga. They need more shooting. We talk about their wings. I think wait lang, si John Lloyd Clemente hindi mag-graduate. Tagal
Yun
na
din
yan.
akala ko din eh.
Hindi pa.
Yun din akala ko. Team
May 1
captain
year
na
pa si
siya eh, di
Clemente.
ba?
Wow, he's still playing. Oh my God. Dana niya. Well, anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, yung shooting was something they had to work on. Their wings, very athletic, switchable on defense, but I don't think I don't think any of them are consistent shooters. And it showed yesterday, I think the only consistent shooter they have is, si JLC, but it's not really consistent. Si Kian Baklaan, and to some extent si Steve Nash. But otherwise, lack of shooting is one of them. Jeremy Mahinay, shout out to our fellow big boy.
Chunky boy.
The ultimate go in there and just give up your fouls guy. I think he had 4 fouls no first quarter. I don't know. I think 4 or 3.
Yeah.
4 or 3 fouls nung first quarter. But I think his spot will be taken over. They have this rookie, si Paloselo. And he's pretty impressive.
And bigger
from
also,
the games. Yeah, he's bigger and has a lot more offensive moves. So they have something there. But NU pare, they're intact, and I expect a lot of internal improvement from their team. Jeff Napa, again, we talked about Jeff, you giving our flowers to Jerome. Let's give our flowers to Jeff Napa. He coached a hell of a season. We talked I think Maui yung brought it up in one of our past episodes. If there's someone na dapat maging coach of the year, one of the contenders, si Jeff Napa.
Definitely.
What he did with NU, losing 2 key players from last season, and then making them a top tier contender this season is a marvelous achievement. So Jeff Napa, salute ako sa'yo. He's a very good coach, and I think his players love him as well. Yung they respond to him. NU's gonna be scary.
Right. Sige. So looking forward to the finals. It's going to be a rematch of last season. This is round 3 in like the past 4 years. It's going to be UP versus Ateneo. Before we sort of talk about what we expect from the game this Sunday, I think, just wanna ask, na-mention nyo yung injury ni Carl Tamayo. But I think si Ange also sort of tweaked his ankle yesterday. Which is, I guess, the more important player to watch out for in terms of injury watch. Do you think sino mas crucial sa team nila? Is it Carl Tamayo or Ange Kwame? I think may obvious answer, but what do you guys think?
Definitely Kwame. Pare Kwame. Kung wala si Kwame, Ateneo will be in shambles versus Diouf. Definitely.
Kung wala si Kwame, ibigay mo na yung championship.
Bigay na natin. Huwag na tayo maglaro.
Tapos na. tapos na ako na sigurado si Diouf will dominate that
Saka,
game. 2020 waiting to happen.
as shown in the game yesterday, kahit wala si Carl Tamayo, they have enough depth, they have enough talent to compete. And it's so, yung kahit nung elimination round,
Kahit may
there are
elimination
games
round.
na they, especially in the first round, they don't even play Carl Tamayo for stretches. Kasi pinapahinga na,
They don't
nagpapahinga
finish
lang
the
si
game with
Carl.
Tamayo.
Hindi,
So-
kahit yung mga ibang key games na very close. Pag si Lucero hot, sometimes Coach Gold doesn't go with, inuupo lang si
Upo
Tamayo. I think they're even if Tamayo is not there, they're ready. They have the personnel rin to although they will lose yung one of their advantages, yung death nga nila nung pinag-uusapan natin. But I think when it comes to most valuable player for a team, Tamayo versus Kwame, definitely Kwame for Ateneo. Yari Ateneo kung wala si Kwame.
If we talk about, 'di ba, kasi when we talk about MVP dito sa UAAP, we're talking about yung statistical points, 'di ba? Because that's how we judge MVP. But let's say in an NBA, ang MVP sometimes like people say
Voting.
it's the person that's like most crucial to their team, 'di ba? Now, pag wala yung person na yon, this team will be in shambles. I think we can all agree, no? Statistically, Malik Diouf is the MVP talaga. But if you talk about the MVP, the most crucial player to the team, you always have to think about Ange Kwame for Ateneo or a Jerom Lastimosa for Adamson. If these guys are not there in the team, honestly, like they might not make it to the final four or something like that. So definitely, I agree with the two of you. Ange being healthy is more crucial to Ateneo's chances of winning than Carl Tamayo being healthy. Any other key points that you wanna look into or talk about heading into the first game of the finals between Ateneo and UP? Gab, ikaw muna.
Ako definitely yung Ateneo's bench. I think that's pretty crucial. From the last time they matched up, Ateneo won that game because their bench stepped up big time. Chris Kuhn played a good game. Gab Gomez, Chu Daves. I'm honestly looking forward to more Chu Daves minutes. Again, that aggressiveness on offense was big time. It made UP trapping the dribble handoff action costly for them because Chu Daves got a few layups.
Na-negate
out of that.
Na-negate niya yung defense dun sa dribble handoff no?
Yeah, so the bench has to step up for Ateneo because we all know yung UP's bench is a monster. The bench ng UP can be a starting five. so yun, I think that's very key. Ateneo bench. If Ateneo's bench sucks, they're not even gonna scratch the surface of UP's of UP's potential. So that's one point. Mau, you have something to add?
Just to add dun sa bench, I think sa second round, you could really see yung difference ng Ateneo bench in rotation with compared to the first round. Si Gab Gomez and si Chris Kuhn and to a T, si Josh Lazaro has solidified their roles off the bench. Si Chris Kuhn has really had a spectacular second round after I think shooting 8% from 3-point line and playing point guard and failing miserably nung first round. And I think you can see naman what happens when Ateneo's bench contributes. The Adamson game yesterday, Ateneo demolished Adamson. And a huge reason for that is because Chris Kuhn had the game of his life. And against UP, against UP nung second round, you can see naman that both Gab Gomez and Chris Kuhn was very crucial nung games na yun. So yeah, I think when it comes to Ateneo, yung first key to winning is really yung contribution ng bench if they're gonna be steady or if they're going but I think you mentioned this, Gab. I think Coach Tab has been shying away yung sa 5 players from the bench lineups.
Yes.
Kahapon sa Adamson.
He's mixing it up yung with the starters.
Kahapon sa Adamson sorry, Gab. Go ahead.
Kung yung nga, yung I was gonna say, no, kung i-compare mo sa first round na when Coach Tab would actually put 5 bench guys on the floor at the same time. He changed it up in the second round. Like 3 bench guys, 2 starters, or 2 bench guys, yung 3 starters. So he staggers them. It's very similar to what the Golden State Warriors are doing right now. Because, diba, yung Golden State, I don't know if you guys, well, you two follow the NBA. The Warriors started very badly this season because their bench was crap. Pang tanggalin mo yung starting 5, yung mga bench guys sila walang ginagawa. So ang ginawa ni Steve Kerr, just put si Draymond Green, sina Steph Curry, ihalo mo with the bench, and same thing. Yung Coach Tab, you did the same thing. Again, Coach Tab, pare. The mind.
I think
Nanonood kasi si Steve Kerr ng UAAP. Nakita niya si Coach Tab, ginaya niya.
I think yesterday Ateneo still tried yung 5 bench lineup pero sabog talaga, so biglang tinawag agad si Balungay. So I think moving forward, Ateneo will probably play a starter or two at the court anytime during the game, especially against UP. When you talk about UP, when the bench enters, when Lucero and sometimes Kagulangan or Fortea enters, you have to match up pretty well with the scoring and the playmaking. But yeah, let's go. Round 3. Ito na yun. Let's go.
Okay, sige, good points. I think for me, one crucial thing lang then, I know this is round 3 of the finals. It was the same thing last season. Another advantage to the UP bench, no, or to the UP lineup, they're deep, but in terms of experience, they're also more experienced, I think, versus Ateneo.
Baliktad na
If
ngayon.
tingnan mo yung Ateneo lineup, this is the first finals with probably major minutes for a lot of the players on the Ateneo team. Kay Balungay, this is his rookie year. You remember that. So this is his first UAAP finals experience. Fortsky, Josh Lazaro, and Gab Gomez, they were there last year, but they didn't play that much minutes sa finals, diba? But when you look at the UP team, it's this exact same team that played in the finals last year. JD Kagulangan, we know this guy is going to be clutch. And he's going to be ready. Carl Tamayo Diof, Zave Lucero, Fortea Abadiano. These are the guys that Alarcon, these are the guys that played very crucial minutes, important minutes for the team last year during the final. So, meron din silang advantage of like being there already and playing those crucial minutes last year in the final. So I think for me that's something to look out for. No, you can be good the entire season, but maybe not show up during the finals. No, because the finals is really different. It's a different ball game. And just remember, David Ildefonso was played crucial minutes last season, but he didn't play really well. Although to be fair, he was injured, but it wasn't a good finals performance for Dave. And this season, he's been sort of inconsistent. We've talked about that also. So what kind of Dave Ildefonso are we getting in the finals this year or this season? That's also for me something worth looking out for, no? Yeah, Gab, were you going to try to say something?
No, we keep on talking about Ateneo. I think we have to talk about some key points for UP. One of the things I'm gonna watch out for is how many minutes they go without JD Kagulan on the floor. Because I think you all know this. I am not a big Terence Fortea fan anymore. Because no, they literally lose a lot of leads when Terence. I think if you look at the plus minus, it's staggering when JD Kagulangan is on the bench versus when he's on the floor. Because JD Kagulangan is the type of point guard that just takes his shots when given to him, but otherwise he sets it up. He's calm. He lets everybody eat. Terence Fortea is more, I let myself eat. Bahala na iba. So, and I know I have a lot of UP fans slash friends in my life who are not big Terence Fortea fans. Because yung tirador siya eh. Sometimes ill-advised yung mga 3-point shots niya. If they go in, it's a good shot. If they don't, it's pretty bad. And with a lot of other offensive options on their team, JD Kagulangan is very crucial. Zabe Lucero, Carl Tamayo, they need their touches because they're honestly the better offensive options for them rather than Terence Fortea jacking up long-range 3-pointers. So I'm gonna watch out for that. I don't think Coach Gold is gonna go long stretches without JD on the floor. He's just the linchpin of their entire offense. Yeah.
Sorry, just to add, no, I think we always talk about the big players, the clutch players, Diof, Tamayo, JD Kagulangan, super clutch. I think a player that gets overlooked often, especially this season, since he's not playing a lot, but he hit a lot of clutch 3-pointers last season. James Spencer. Si Spencer, no? So I think another guy that we need to look out for, siya ang dami niyang clutch game-tying, game-winning threes din nung Final Four last season. And he was the guy who was defending Dave Ildefonso, and he was defending him really well kahit right before his Ildefonso's injury, no? Nakakasabay siya kay Dave Ildefonso. So I think something to look out for. Expect Coach Gold to play him on Dave Ildefonso once again this final. So he can get hot. He can get hot from the three, and he plays both ends of the floor. So another guy to look out for sa UP. Sobrang deep talaga ng team na to. They can afford not to play Tamayo, Spencer. Ilalabas na lang in case of emergency. So this team is, do we all agree this is the favorite team to win the championship? Ateneo ang
Definitely.
underdog
Actually,
this finals.
Definitely
Yung
from
let's
the
make
start
this
What do you think?
juicy.
of the season.
Predictions. So, nako,
I think
I know where Maui's going. Maui,
Go, Mau.
you go first. Predictions. Come on.
and
Who
then
wins it?
sige, I'll go first.
And,
I'll go first. I'll go
and
first.
how many games? And how many games?
I'll go first. I've been pessimistic all season. I think Ateneo overachieved by making it to the finals. I have to go with UP in 3 games still. I'll give Ateneo a win. It's going to be a close 3 games, pero I'll just go for just the most talented team, the more talented team, no? So, or more deep team. But I think it's a close fight. Ateneo has a chance. I guess to Maui's point. Basta nandiyan si Tab, basta healthy yung Ateneo, I think Ateneo will have a chance. But UP is just too damn deep. Maui.
Okay, so ikaw Sam, UP if 2-1. Maui. I think I know where we
Ako,
are.
Ateneo pa rin talaga, pare. I don't know if it's biased or anything, but yung nakita ko talaga yung team nung season na nawala ng 7 players and then naka-finals and then went toe-to-toe with Ben Imbala and Jeron Teng nung first game. They could have won that first game. Iba talaga yung coach Top Baldwin. And to Ateneo's credit naman, I'm going for Ateneo probably in 3 games. You can't sweep UP definitely. I think Ateneo's riding a 7-game win streak. Their only loss in the second round was a loss to NU. NU was, as we mentioned before, NU was the hottest team during that time. Na-shock din sila with the NU's grit and grind play. But iba yung iba yung may gutom. May gutom yung Ateneo team this year, as Coach Tab mentioned, has a dog in them, an underdog mentality with them. Dave Idelfonso is out to prove his doubter strong. Sam mentioned si James Spencer. James Spencer is probably the best matchup for Dave Idelfonso sa UAAP. But I think Dave proved nung second game na kaya naman pala niya na kasi even yung first game, nung first round, he struggled mightily. And I think that would be enough. Yung confidence si David Alfonso will be enough for him to, nung second round game, will be enough for him to have a very great finals game. But I think just to add yung sa key points kanina, I think very crucial for me yung guards off the bench. For UP, crucial that Fortea controls does not chuck up a ton of shots, ill-advised shots. But ang main guys that I'm calling out for UP are two unheralded players that really stepped up during different parts of the season. May moments sila talaga that they make those crucial shots, crucial defensive stops and rebounds. Cyril Gonzalez and Harold Aragon are players to watch also sa finals. I think their match up with Chris Kuhn and Gab Gomez will be interesting. If Chris Kuhn continues to play like he's been playing for the past few games, Ateneo will be deadly. And but if Cyril Gonzalez also steps up like how he did yesterday and some of their key games, UP can easily manhandle Ateneo. If remember during the second round matchup between Ateneo and UP, Lucero had I think 0 points. He was 0 for 11. That will not happen in the finals. Definitely, I think that will not happen. Zabo Lucero will be very aggressive, taking it to the hole. Similar to how he played against NU yesterday. Kita mo naman andito na yung pamilya, grabe.
Nanonood na yung pamilya
Nanonood na yung pamilya sa tatlong dunk siya, I think, nung first half. And you can see he's really excited for the finals. He really wants to, he's gonna play well. Ang key question lang is kung si Gab, yung question ni Gab about the finals is how many minutes will JD Kagulangan, will Coach Code play JD Kagulangan. Ang key concern ko with UP is how many minutes will Carl Tamayo be able to play sa finals, especially yung first game. This is not just a casual ankle sprain. If you watch the game yesterday, it was pretty bad. And to add to that, it was a re-aggravation of an injury that's been giving Carl Tamayo problems the whole season. This is one of the reasons why Carl Tamayo did not play for Gilas nung last window.
Yeah.
And I think for UP to win this finals, Carl Tamayo has to step up. Kasi kita mo naman when all the cards are on the table, UP goes to Carl Tamayo. When they need a scoring punch, when they're struggling in offense, when they're down, they go to Carl Tamayo. And I think yun yung key to win talaga nung UP for this Sunday. But yeah, I don't know if I'm biased or anything, but I'm going Ateneo 2-1.
Well, ako, my mind says it's UP. UP! But my heart says, of course, yung Ateneo pa rin.
No, ako yung puso mo.
So my heart says Ateneo. This is an interesting contrast to last season.
Mm-hmm.
Last season, Ateneo was the juggernaut, the overwhelming favorite. Yeah. And I think we were saying na UP might take one game, but they're scary because they're peaking at the right time. Parang nag-switch, no? Ngayon, UP na ngayon yung overwhelming favorite. Yung Ateneo yung nag-peak na ngayon yung, we don't know if it's the right time, but Ateneo is peaking coming into the finals. So parang nag-switch sila ng positions. As for my prediction, yes, I agree with the three of you. I do think it's 3 games. I'm gonna go with my heart. I think Ateneo is gonna take this one. I think it's hard for me to say that right now kasi lakas ng UP pare. Yun lang masasabi ko, lakas ng UP. Tapos I'm gonna break it down by game. I think Ateneo is gonna take game 1. I think Ateneo is gonna surprise UP and take game 1.
Balls.
Yes, and then UP will take game 2, and then we're gonna have a slugfest of a third game. I'm gonna go with Maui. Maui has been proven right. Has been proven right so far this season. Yung let's go with the winning horse. Kasama ko kay Maui. Sorry, Sam. Kasama ko kay Maui.
Okay. Okay, dalawang Atenista pinili Ateneo, yung taga-UP pinili UP. What a shocker, no? So, what a shocker. Uh, that's it. I think let's end it there, no? We've got our predictions. We're calling it a very exciting finals, a very
Three games.
exciting round 3
Three games,
between
please.
Ateneo and UP.
Three
Round
games.
3, Battle of Katipunan. Sunday, no? First game. So,
Sunday, first game.
let's see what happens this Sunday during the first game. And definitely we will be there watching, and we will be covering this after that first game. We will be covering the first game. So stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe, and then let us know your predictions also. Send your predictions in the comment section below, or share your insights dun sa games that we just saw yesterday during the Final Four. See you again next week, Sunday or Monday. We'll be talking about Game 1 of the UAAP Season 85 Men's Basketball Finals. See you. Take care.
One big
Enjoy.
fight.
Yeah.